Hi everyone, Nick Tischerman here, second oboe with your Colorado Symphony, and we're talking Colorado All-State Oboe Excerpts. This first one comes to us from Ferling's 48 Studies. If you're counting, it's number 13 in D major, super sunny key, super happy. This Andante should feel really pastoral. It's just kind of like the feeling that you get when you're outside on the most gorgeous day, which shouldn't be very hard to imagine if you're from Colorado. A lot like Beethoven's 6, Scene at the Brook, the second movement, a little bit of the Saint-Saëns Sonata in there. There's also a Barrett Etude that also has the same kind of big triple meter feel. So let's get into it. A couple big things to talk about, a couple smaller things to talk about. First big thing, phrasing. What is phrasing? Phrasing is showing, not telling the audience where the music comes from and where the music goes to. And we do that by showing with our dynamics. So what I like to do is I like to map everything out and pick my arrival points or my musical objectives. In this case, take the downbeat of bar 2, the downbeat of bar 4, and all the way the downbeat of bar 7. And you'll see that the dynamics already written into the part show us that we're on the right track if this is where we're trying to phrase. So how do we practice this? What I like to do is simplify it, take away all the notes, and just distill the phrase into one note where we can practice the shape. Then we put the notes back in. I'll show you what I mean. If we're phrasing to the D in bar 2, let's make a long tone on a D across 2 bars, crescendoing to the downbeat, and then diminuendoing. Now we have our shape. Let's add the notes back in. So we went to bar 2, we went to bar 4 and away. So that's what I like to do, and I like to map out all of my phrases so I know the architecture of the music. Second big thing we've got to talk about is nailing that mood change in bar 9. So we have to show the difference between something really happy and really sunny versus something that's more introverted, maybe a little bit afraid and full of trepidation. So really showing that contrast. A couple small things. Ornamentation. In this music, it's all kind of bel canto style. There's tons of ornaments that a singer would have to do that we have to fold into the music and make it sound effortless. So looking in bar 5, beat 3, we've got this trill figure. So again, what we're going to do is simplify it, take all the notes out, then put them back in. Let's pick a slightly slower tempo. So first, here's the figure, no trill, no Nachschlag, the 2 little notes coming out of the trill. So we want to make that as singing as possible. Now we add back the trill. So let's just try that trill by itself. As beautiful as a bird would sing. We don't want anything mechanical, nothing that sounds like the 2 notes of the trill are unequal in any way. Just something really vocal, even in a trill. So trill, and we're going to fold it back into this figure. I'm feeling pretty good about that. We're gonna try now. Now we're gonna try just the Nachschlag. Feeling pretty good about the trill. Pretty darn good about the Nachschlag too. Let's see if we can play this whole figure as written. So first, just the trill and the Nachschlag, making sure we get to that second eighth on time. Alright, feeling good? Let's do the whole thing. And there you have it, simplified and then put back together, one piece at a time. So that brings me to my next smaller thing to talk about, and that's these huge leaps, these downward slurs. Whenever you go from something above the break on the oboe, above your half whole C sharp or D, to something below that, the notes always want to crack. They always want to sound a lot less vocal and elegant than we would like. So here's a technique I like to use to help solve this problem. Higher note and the lower note, they're both going to get two different kind of styles of blowing, if you will. Let me show you what I mean. So the upper note is going to have something that's very focused, almost like you're hissing like a cat. And then for the lower note, all of that focus drops out, but the airstream keeps going, so we're left with. So we go from to together, it's. So the level of focus in the airstream changes, but the airstream continues through both of the notes, and that's how we get a seamless slur between the two. So let's try one note at a time. Let's take in bar 7 this E to the A. So here's the E. To the A. E to the A. So practice that. It's a good strategy to use. It'll come up very often. Don't worry about it too much in this music because these jumps go by pretty quick in this tempo, but it's a good tool to have in your tool bag. This excerpt actually cuts off at kind of a weird point in the music, but this is your audition. Make sure you follow the instructions and finish exactly where it's marked in the part. So without much further ado, let's play this thing.